Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 is coming out very soon, and the movie just had its world premiere. And the reactions I'm seeing from fans that watched this film are shocking. I haven't seen reactions like this for a comic book movie in a long time. And it has me more excited than ever to go see this movie. So let's go over these reviews and let me explain to you why we might just be about to watch one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. Smash a freaking like on this video and let's begin. Okay, so I definitely want to start by talking about these insanely positive first reactions for Across the Spider-Verse, but I think it's really important here to give some context. We need to emphasize how unusual reactions like these are. Once upon a time, Marvel movie reviews and reactions were so positive, so consistently, that they almost became a meme. The latest Marvel movie is the best since the last Marvel movie. You probably heard that one before, or something like it. And even beyond just Marvel movies, comic book movies in general have started to garner so many positive reactions that sometimes even critics that don't end up giving the movie a positive review end up sort of going easy on it on the first social media reaction. This is because comic book movies and the zeitgeist that is the fandom surrounding these movies is just so massive. And usually they just want to hear good news. They want to hear that the latest comic book movie is going to be dope. But that has changed, and that is definitely no longer the case. Marvel Studios has had many low Rotten Tomatoes scoring movies over the past couple of years, and other comic book movies are seeing a similar treatment, sometimes being really harshly reviewed and given a really nasty first reaction. Like, the narrative has kind of flipped. The comic book movie genre is going through something of an identity crisis right now, and I definitely think there's some fatigue adding into this. Perhaps it just got so big and successful that there's nothing really interesting left to do, or at least I think that's the narrative out there for a lot of folks. So it's like really been a lot of being down on these films, questioning whether or not their time is over, etc., etc. With that table now set for you, I would like to present the bizarrely positive, amazingly good first reactions to Across the Spider-Verse. Check this shit out. We'll start with Brandon Davis, who says Across the Spider-Verse is simply an incredible accomplishment. It's stunning, but also very much an unfinished story by its end. Visually, it's such a stunning achievement. It's everything a Spider-Man fan could ask for and much more. So good, it's hard to believe it exists. Eric Davis says, hands down, Across the Spider-Verse is the real deal. Visually, unlike anything you will see in a theater this year, it very much feels like the Back to the Future 2 of the series, a middle chapter that's weird and funky and shocking, but also the ultimate Spider-Man experience. It rocks. Jake Hamilton says, the moment Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse ended, I knew I'd experienced a cinematic moment I'd cherish forever. If Into is a new hope, this is Empire. Darker, more powerful, and better in every way. It's going to be a long wait until March 24. How does this movie exist? Joseph Declemeyer says, the hype is real. Every frame of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is gorgeous. I didn't want to blink because I didn't want to miss anything. You can watch this film over and over and find something new to enjoy. There are some surprises in this film that I truly wasn't expecting. Eric Goldman says, I am very happy to say that Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is fantastic. Definitely juggles deeply heartfelt character beats with crazy multiverse content, just packed with so many delightful Easter eggs. Loved how Gwen's story is expanded. Can't wait for the third one. Gracie the Cosplay Lass says, I just saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and it was amazing. It had some of the most beautiful animation I've ever seen and the story was fantastic. It is now my favorite Spider-Man movie. And I mean, guys, it just goes on and on and on. Just go to Twitter, search Across the Spider-Verse, and just witness the insane enthusiasm for this movie out there on social media. And a lot of people are talking about how hyped up it is and getting more excited to see the movie. Like, I haven't seen this happen in a long time. Sometimes movies come in and they have an incredible marketing campaign and we kind of have an idea of what the film is, and then the reactions and reviews come out and we don't really get a drastic change off of our first impression. We're like, okay, this is pretty much what this is. But this movie seems like a masterpiece, like a movie that takes everything that happened correctly with the first movie and amplifies it. It's sort of this perfect middle chapter to set up the last part. It just seems like this is gonna be such a massive freaking W for Sony and for the comic book movie genre. I mean, you've got people out there saying this is the greatest animated movie of all time, that what is accomplished here just on animation standards is unprecedented, and it's just gonna change the literal game. So you might have a movie here that is literally pushing an entire genre forward, pushing technology forward, and also giving one of the biggest fan bases on the planet, the Spider-Man fan base, everything they could ask for with regards to fan service, character development, and just the pure joy that comes from being a fan of that character. And it honestly reminds me a little bit of something that James Gunn recently said. He was talking about how after Endgame, it's difficult to make a great comic book movie, that film set the bar so high that we really haven't seen greatness in one of these comic book movies since then. And I would even argue Gunn was thinking of his own Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 when he made that statement, because Guardians 3 is good. Like, I liked the movie. I even like it more now that I've thought about it even more, and I can't wait to see it again. But it's not a masterpiece. It's not great. It's not like Endgame level. And even Spider-Man No Way Home, which gets there for me, like it touches that bar. It didn't go over it. It didn't exceed it. It didn't push anything forward. And the entire genre of comic book movies have been a little bit stale because of that, right? It's like, can we ever recapture that feeling? And I just haven't seen that reflected in any audience reaction from the critics, from anything from a comic book movie, television show, or a movie since Avengers Endgame. I just haven't felt that same energy that I'm feeling right now via these reviews and these first reactions for Across the Spider-Verse Part 2. And it feels like a massive win for Sony too, because they've delayed this movie quite a bit, and it seems like the delay has paid off. It looks to be totally flawless from the visual effects animation department, which we're absolutely positive takes a long time. And it seems like they've set up a lot of interesting cameos and surprises that will make the third chapter, the closing out of this entire story, just so damn interesting. I mean, you got critics talking about how it's very close to Star Wars. And another huge part of this, guys, that has me personally excited is the multiverse. Right now, with Marvel's Phase 4 and the beginning of Marvel's Phase 5, the multiverse itself feels really underutilized, and you have a ton of people in the fan base, whether they're hardcore or they're more casual, like not necessarily loving the idea of the multiverse and not really understanding why it's such a big deal. Why is this thing so cool and important? And apparently in Across the Spider-Verse, we're going to get the multiverse leveraged in the exact way that I've been hoping for a long time for Marvel Studios, and hopefully set the table for what's to come from Marvel live action as we get a little bit closer to Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty. In some weird way, if this movie is as successful as I think it might end up being, this is going to save some of Kevin Feige's hard work. This is going to help him and help the normie and very big group of people that go to see comic book movies just get excited about what the multiverse can actually do. And so I'm freaking excited, man. I'm way more excited than I've been for this movie so far, and I was already excited because Into the Spider-Verse before No Way Home was my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. It is that good, and I just can't imagine it being better than that on a grander scale with Spider-Man 2099, the actual multiverse, a freaking citadel of multiversal Spider-Man. Oh my God. So of course, let me know what you think about these reviews and the point I was making about the multiverse in the comments section below. Smash a like on this video. We'll pop up a video for you if you want to watch more. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.